Hi everyone, it's svgcoop.com with another training video for you, and today we are working in Adobe Illustrator. And what I wanted to do is, I'm going to take this Snoopy and I want to be able to cut him to be about 32 inches high. I want to make this for my sister. Her grandson is going to be Charlie Brown for Christmas, and she's going for a trunk or treat. And as part of the decorations for the back of her truck, I thought that I would make this Snoopy. So I want to show you how to do it while I'm doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do File New, and I'm going to make my document 33 inches by 33 inches. And I want to turn on my grid, so I'm going to hit Command apostrophe. And I want to turn on my ruler, so I'm going to hit Command R. And then what I want to do is, just to make sure for yourselves, you want to go up to View and Guides and make sure that your guides are not locked. So if it says Lock Guides, you're good. If it says Unlock Guides, then click on that because you want to have your guides unlocked. Alright, so I'm going to, with my black arrow tool, click on the ruler and drag over to the right. It doesn't matter where exactly. And I want to come up to the top here and make the X value 11 inches. I'm basically going to build an 11 by 3 grid here, or 11 by 11 if you will. So I'm going to grab another one and drag it over, and I want that one to be at the X value of 22. And then from the top I'm going to drag down, and I want that Y value to be 11. And then one more with the Y value set to 22. So I know that it's hard to see, but if you look on the sides, you can see that there's grid lines here. So I basically have, a checkerboard set up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this Snoopy file is available at our Facebook group, SVG Coop Share, but I am going to include it in your files so you have it, and I'll throw in Charlie Brown just for fun. But anyway, so I'm going to grab the Snoopy and I'm going to hold my mouse, drag up to the untitled, and then click back down, and or drag down, I'm sorry, don't click, until you see that plus, and then let go of your mouse. Now, I want him to be 32 inches. I want the proportions to stay the same, so I'm going to leave my constrained proportions up here set, and I'm just going to change the height to 32 inches. Okay? And what I want to really do is I'm going to walk you right through this entire project. So this is going to be fun, I think. Okay, so what you want to do now is you want to fit him on here somewhere where you can get the fewest amount of cuts, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut him into these blocks of pieces here. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that things like it looks like I'm going to have to cut this piece here. I didn't necessarily want to do that. I wanted to kind of have it resting about there, but then I need another block, so I don't want to do that. So I guess I'm going to go with the little piece here being cut. But I'm looking down here at his stomach. I want to make sure that I'm not, see how the grid would go there? I don't want to have to cut these two little pieces, so I'm going to move that over. And you just want to kind of put your image where you can get the fewest amount of cuts to make your project easy. So, like, see right here, I'm going to have to cut this tiny piece for his toe, but I really don't see how I'm going to avoid that. Alright, so the next step that we're going to do is I'm going to grab the knife. So if you're looking at your Illustrator, you probably have the eraser set right here. There's a little arrow down here on or little, whatever you want to call it, an arrowhead, if you will, at the corner. And if you click on that and hold, you'll see there's a little knife. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut him into these pieces so that when we go to bring him over to Illustrator, into Cricut Design Space, or your Silhouette or whatever it is you're using, he'll be all set. And it's a little bit more precise than drawing shapes and trying to do it that way. So what we're going to do is I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so I can see better. I'm going to start on my grid, and I'm going to hold down my Alt key on my Mac, or I think I will get back to you about what key it is if you're on a PC, but I'm going to hold the Alt key, and that's going to keep my knife straight. And I basically want to follow along my guide here, and then I'm going to let go. And you'll see it cut the image. So I'm going to go down here, and same thing, I'm just going to go in my grid, hold down the Alt key to keep it straight, and cut that. And now I have to zoom out so I can go from top to bottom. I'm going to start at the top here near my grid, and I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom, keep it straight, holding the Alt key. Down to the bottom again, keeping it straight, and click it again. Okay, so now what I want to do is, depending on how you're going to cut this, or if you're cutting it out of paper or vinyl or whatever it is you want to, I still want to take my pieces and turn each color into a compound path. So I'm going to click on all of the white pieces that are inside this piece. Actually, I want to ungroup this first. So I'm going to go to Object, Ungroup. So I'm going to click all the little white pieces in this grid square, and I'm going to hit Command 8. And then for the next one, I'm going to do the same thing with my black arrow tool. I'm selecting all the white pieces here in the grid and hit Command 8. And then this one, select those two pieces, Command 8. And then in the bottom here of his ear, I'm going to select those and hit Command 8. And then the middle section, grab his tooth and his body, Command 8. And then the bottom here, Command 8. And then his bottom here, the feet. And I'm holding the Shift key down while I'm selecting multiple pieces, and Command 8. Okay, so then the other pieces that we want to do are the black pieces. So I'm just going to click in the black area and just hit Command 8, because those are solid pieces underneath the white. So you don't have to select all of the tiny pieces, but you do want to grab all of them in each section. Okay, and then hit Command 8. All right, so now I'm going to save this. I'm going to hit File, Save. And since I'm building this as I'm working with you, I'm going to hit a new folder, and we're going to call this Illustrator. I'm not sure which class number it is. I think it's 110. I might change that. And we're going to call it Knife Cut. Hit Create. And then I'm going to put Snoopy. I'm going to save it first as an Illustrator file, but then I want to save it also as an SVG. So I'm doing File, Save As, SVG. Save. I'm going to hit OK. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Cricut design space, and you can use whatever software you use. And I'm going to create a new project. And I just want to show you how this looks before I go ahead and cut it. I'm going to upload an image. You can see I tested it a couple times. Upload, browse, and go into my folder here and hit open. Okay, and I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to insert it. Okay, so obviously it's very big. I'm going to make the screen a little bit smaller here so you can see him. But you can see over on the right that all of the pieces, are in kind of bigger chunks. So if we hit go, you're going to see that we have these few places where these are the pieces that are going to be in the image. So it's very nice. We only have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black pieces, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white pieces to cut. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that, and then I'm going to get off of this kind of camera, and I'm going to go to the other camera so you can watch me put it together. All right, so stay tuned. Don't go away. Okay, hi everyone. It's SVG Coop. Today we're going to be trying to put together a large cut that I'm teaching you how to do. This is our Snoopy that's 3 feet, just about. So what I did was I cut off the pieces and I sort of laid them out a little bit right side up, but now what I'm doing is I actually want to put it together upside down, because what I want to do is be able to put the pieces kind of close together here. And I'm just going to grab my tape and I'm going to tape this together on the back. I probably will secure it with some more pieces of cardstock, but for right now I just want to get the pieces together and get them taped. Now the good thing about doing this the way that we're doing it is that your pieces are going to line up in such a way that they're all going to corner nicely because of the way that we decided to cut this. So I'm just gonna keep lining this up and have you stay with me while I do this, just so you can see how it gets done. And I do have a couple of little pieces, even though I tried to avoid that, it still happens. So alright, I just want to make sure that I stay in. It's kind of hard because this project is so big, but I figured it would still be fun to watch and see how it goes together. So I'm going to probably do this in a couple of little clips to get it going. Now the one thing that I did decide to do was to, what was I just going to say? I don't know. Must not have been true. As my mother would always say. Must have been a lie, or I would have remembered. Okay, so anyway, so I'm going to get these pieces stuck together. And so far so good. And, oh, so yeah, so the nice thing about this is because we cut it into 9 squares, or kept it into within the 9 squares, everything's going to line up very nicely. The corners are going to line up. You're not going to have to worry about, sometimes when you're doing the shapes, or the other way that people sometimes do these, you know, you have, this might be off just a little bit, and in this case we don't have that. It's going to all be the nice right way it's supposed to be. Okay, oops, I have some sticky stuff on my desk there. Just move that. Probably glue. Okay, get this on here. I can't wait to see this all done, and I can't wait to see my little grandnephew's face when he gets a hold of this thing. Okay, hopefully I'm still on camera. Trying to be. Let's see. Just take a quick look. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to move him up a little bit and try and get these pieces on here. This is a super fun project, especially if you're having a party or something like that. Now there's a couple of little tiny black pieces for this project. And these just happened to be because there were small pieces in the corners. So what I'm doing is I'm going to look at my original that I'm looking on in Illustrator, so I can kind of figure out where these go. So one of these is going to go here. Like this. And again, it's nice because see how the corner is going to line up perfectly. So when I have to fit that other little piece in there, I'm going to know right where it goes. Alright, so then this little piece. And yours is going to be probably slightly different than mine because you're going to cut it, you know, a little bit differently. But I really just wanted you to have an idea of how mine ended up and how, you know, you can get yours done. Okay, so you have this tiny little black piece here. And that's going to go right there. Yeah. It's like putting together a puzzle. It's kind of fun. Okay. Alright, so we have the black part ready, and I'm going to flip him over, and I'm just going to pause the tape for a second and get the white pieces sort of laid out, and then we'll be right back. So don't go away. Okay, we're back with Snoopy, and it's hard for me to let you see it all, but I kind of laid out the white pieces. And again, I want to just explain, like, the one good thing that's really nice about doing it this way is that all of our horizontal and vertical lines are going to stick together. So that's actually really nice because it helped me to line up the pieces. So I'm going to start with this piece right here. I'm just going to glue around here. And I'm going to line it right up with the seam. Move this piece over a little. I'm going to line it right up with the seam of the black piece because of the way we cut it, it should line up perfectly. And I'm just going to work my way right around the whole figure. And it's nice because now I can butt this piece up right against it, and it will make it nice and smooth looking. Okay, so put some on this eye here. All right, so then I have this nice big piece, and I'm going to put some glue on it. And again, the nice thing is this is a very big piece, and if you have it not, a little bit misaligned, it's going to be hard to place it. But because I know that I can line up with the seam on the bottom and the seam in this corner, it's going to be easier for me to place it perfectly, even if the other pieces are not laid down yet. So I'm just going to line that up with the corner and the bottom seam, and of course it lines up with the seam over here. And give it a little rub. Okay. I'm just going to move this over a little so you can see. Actually, I think we're going to go this way. I'm going to get his ears on first, the white pieces on his ear. I'm just going to glue this piece. And again, because it's got a straight piece on here, I can just line it right up with the straight edge, and it's just going to lay just right. Okay. And then, let's see, I'm going to glue this little piece down. Hopefully you can still see this. And again, it lines up right where the seam is. Okay, so now this other piece has a little piece on the seam. So I'm just going to line that up where that goes. Get this piece here. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to do this piece next by his mouth. And it's kind of fun when you're working with such big pieces. I don't know, it's like being a kid when they used to have us lay on the big brown craft paper, and you would sketch somebody would trace you, and you would do your self portrait. It was always kind of fun. It kind of reminds me of that. Okay, and get that lined up there nice. Okay, and then I have this little corner piece. So you still have a couple of little pieces. It is a little piece, but that's okay. We're okay with little pieces, even though it's a big project. Get that in there. It's nice because it really is easy to tell where the pieces go when you have it lined up this way. You know, you're basically doing a grid. It's essentially a grid. Okay. onto his body, I just want to, I'm going to move this up a little bit. Oops, I forgot let's get his snout on here and his nose. That way I couldn't get him done. Just going to come out a little so you can see. Okay. And his nose is going to go this way. All right. We move him up a little. Try and get the body in here so you can see it. Hopefully I'm in screen, otherwise I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up with the border or the seam. And the good thing about trying it with this image first is that it doesn't have to be perfect, because there is so much give with the black around the original image. So that's kind of nice for if this is the first time you're doing it. If you've done it before, this might just be a new way to do it. I definitely like the grid idea here. Okay, so I'm going to get that lined up. And it's nice because it lined right up with the seam down on here on the bottom. Let's see if we can get this here. And oops, his toe is trying to run away from me. So make sure I put this on the right way. Okay. Alright, and I think I just have one more piece. His hand. Just gonna get that on there like that. Alright, and he is actually finished. That's all that's to making him. Of course, I'm going to secure him a bit on the back so that he stays together and will stand up nicely. And I think what I'm going to do is, maybe I'll just show you really quickly how I'm going to do that. So we have him taped like this, and let's see, where did I put my scraps? So I basically have some leftover black pieces, just little strips like this. So I'm just going to take some of these strips and I'm just going to secure it along some of the seams. And you can use as many as you like. I'm going to use the pieces from the black where I cut this out, like the extra pieces. And then that's it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this training video. I will post a picture of the finished product. And thanks for watching. We'll be back.